Hey, it's Joe West from the West Barn with
Mike Shimshack.
Today we've got a big announcement. Go ahead, Mike.
We are having a contest / how-to. Well, we calling this a series? We calling this a video? What do we call it?
Tutorial sort of expose of the process.
Yeah. So I think what we, this community has really grown, and we want to involve the community more in this particular episode, I guess we'll call it. And
what's it celebrating?
100 episodes of From the West Barn.
Let me get.
Which is ridiculous.
Let me reach over and pat you on the back.
Hey! No,
yeah,
it's crazy.
You believe that?
It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I'm hoping the audience learned a lot, and we want to celebrate. That's what we want to do.
And I think the way to do that was to, our goal was to really explore the process of how we make records every day at a really high level with all the super talented friends we've had and been able to have on the podcast, but also include the listeners so that they're going to be mixing this record. So I know one of the things I always struggled with early on was not having good tracks to be able to say, like, well, man, I'm always dealing with these garbage tracks, and we're going to give you some really killer tracks. We're going to use Elevado, our very first guest. So they've licensed a song in perpetuity for us, which is very gracious of them. And we're going to document the whole process from, like, how do we work tape it? That's, just singing it into an iPhone, into picking session musicians and having these world-class players dealing with the logistics of booking that session, and then the listening environment, the recording session, the listening the first time through that, and how that song goes from being on a work tape to being something you hear on the radio.
How things are mic'd, how they're recorded, the communication between, we're going to have our friend Near Z play drums on it. You'll see how you communicate.
Rob Curtin on bass.
Yeah.
Hopefully Adam Schoenfeld on guitars. Hopefully guys like Danny Rader and Jeff Roach or Charlie Judge. We're going to try to get some great keyboard player on the session as well.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be amazing. And then we want to, when we're done with that, we want to upload the tracks for our listeners to mix. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a esteemed panel of judges, who have been on the show, mixers, and we're going to narrow it down with their help to maybe 5. I think
5's a good number.
5's a good mix, and then we're going to have the listeners from the West Barn.
He froze up. What he was saying, you froze up there. What you were saying was the listeners from the West Barn will take the 5 that, let's say, are recommended, and then we're going to find a way to whittle it down to 1, the winner. And tell them what the winner gets.
Well, the winner is going to get recognition. You're going to be a guest on from the West Barn.
You're going to get nothing. Purposefully.
Nothing, but we are going to talk to you on the West Barn.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of fun. Hopefully we'll, get your name out there, which I think is a pretty big prize, We are charting in many countries. I just got the list.
We're number 1 in Argentina overnight. I just sent you that. I don't know if you got it.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a good point. We didn't want to associate. We are going to have partners and giveaways of some nice stuff. That stuff is going to be completely arbitrary. If you enter a mix into the competition, there you have a lottery number to win one of those things. We don't want to associate winning the program with getting gear. That's not what this is. We want to keep it about the passion of all the people we interview on this podcast, what we love about people's reason for creating. We want to perpetuate that, and we don't want to dirty it with prizes. This is going to be for the education, for the experience and camaraderie, and we're going to talk to you, interview on the podcast as to your process and your experience with the whole thing. So we're really, really pumped about this. It's going to be fun. So many great things to document, and when it's all done, we're going to get Ted Jensen. So when you win this, you're going to have Ted Jensen mastering your record, which is not too shabby. Ted Jensen is arguably
a few records,
arguably my favorite mastering engineer on the planet. Hotel California, starts it all the way through Ghost in the Machine and, Fleetwood Mac, and you name it, Ted's been doing it. And we're going to try to document all these processes. It's going to be, we're figuring this out. This is a large apple to bite, so we're trying to figure it out. But we're super pumped about it and super excited. And we're super grateful. Me and Mike, we were just talking about how we're so busy that we wouldn't have taken the time to have these conversations. And we never knew what this podcast was going to be, because the creative process for me and Mike, at least, is like, hey, let's not figure it out. Let's let it become what it should be. That's the beauty of something that you set out to do something, and then you go do it, and it's a known quantity. And this podcast has grown into a really great learning experience and rewarding. It's been so rewarding being able to talk to all these guys. I've learned so much and got to hang out with my buddy Mike.
Yes,
and
Mike,
all of you. I've got a listener that moved to Nashville. We should get him on the podcast, but he's a pro musician. He's moved to Nashville. He's a big fan of the podcast. Very thankful. He said he reached out to you on Instagram. Then he eventually reached out to me, and I just don't check Instagram that much, but he's coming over to the barn this week. We're going to have coffee and hang out. That's what we want this to be. We don't want it to be us and you through the glass and untouchable. We want to be part of your process. So we're excited to be able to do this. And then inevitably, you're part of our circle. You're going to be working with us. Great tracks by great musicians, by great artists, produced by me and Mike, for what that's worth, and mixed by you.
Yeah.
Mastered by 10 Jetson. So that's a pretty good day. At the end of the day, that's a pretty good day. I would want to do that. So
it's going to be fun too. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Good. Elevado is amazing. Incredible songwriters. As you said, I think a lot of these things you watch, the songs are kind of suspect. These dudes write great songs. They're real deal artists. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great tracks to mix. Arguably the best musicians in the world playing on this. It should be, recorded at Joe's incredible studio. You're going to be getting.
It's going to be stellar.
You're going to be getting as good a tracks as you could hope for, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to do.
Hopefully you get to meet some people. We're hoping that this week, ideally, I would like to find a way eventually to grow this podcast into like some sort of connected social network. Not that we know how to do that, but I would love the idea of just like being able to have message boards where we're talking to one another, and subgroups like what's on Gear Sluts. And I don't know how to do all that stuff, but I think that's kind of where we're at with it. We just love the process. We want you to do this because you love the process. I've been a part of these in the past, and sometimes it gets soured, a lot of sour grapes. It's not about sour grapes. It's about finding a way to learn more, get experience, and hang out with some people that you really end up calling friends afterwards. So we're excited for that. And I guess that's it. Anything else we need to touch on here?
No, man, it's just gonna be a lot of fun. And thank you to everybody for helping us build this thing. I mean, this thing has gotten bigger than we ever anticipated. I think, we just started it for fun, and I don't know that I personally ever thought it would grow as big as it did. So
isn't that cool?
It's really cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blast. And like I said, we're along for the ride too. So we're excited. We will guarantee you that this is going to be a fantastic, the song's going to be great. We know the players are going to bring a lot to it, and we know we're going to get great audio, because audio is not a mystery. We've learned that from listening to these guys. The conclusion is we're going to have a great song with great players, with great sounds, and we can't wait to hear your mixes. And we'll let you know more about it. We want to tell you this just so you start talking about it, start sharing it with your friends, post it, share it in Gear Sluts if you would post it up to there, and if you would post it around Facebook and all your social media stuff, just so people are aware that it's happening. And we'll figure out what we don't know. We're going to figure out the best we can, and we're going to do the best we can with this, guys. Remember, this is about the experience, and we're newbies. We're going to fail. We might not do it the best way, but we're going to do it the best way we can. And we're looking forward to being a part of it with y'all.
We're two idiots trying to run a podcast.
Isn't that just it though? It's like, why not us? Let's do it.
No, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. So.
All right, folks. We'll talk to you soon. That's it for right now. We're signing off. Thank you so much. We'll sign off. We'll see you next time from the West Barn.
Peace.